Hello, hello, and welcome to the Working Wednesdays broadcast. I am your host, Audra V. Hurd. I'm so excited to be here today. We have a phenomenal guest who's going to be coming on and sharing his journey. All right. So do me a favor, like, share, tag the video, get someone on who needs to hear a life changing and encouraging word. I am your host again, Audra V. Hurd. I am the CEO of IBG Publications, as well as now Audra V. Hurd Enterprises. I decided to brand myself as an author after all these years, right? But I decided to brand myself, so I'm now serving dual roles in multiple places. So I'm so excited about that new journey. You are welcome to find us on the World Wide Web at ibgpublications.com. Log in, find out more about what we do. We are coaching, publishing, and marketing authors to assist in their journey. And so that's why we created the Working Wednesdays broadcast so that we can give exposure to authors and business owners with what they do. All right. So, like I said, like, share, tag the video, get someone on. I do want to take a moment and introduce my guest. I'm going to share a little bit about him. And then we also have a phenomenal video presentations that we're going to put on so you can learn more about who he is and what he does. Okay. All right, so my guest today is none other than Mr. Anthony Brown. He is a public health nurse and the founder and of coordinating and assisting recovery environments, which stands for CARE, CARE. Since 1999, Anthony's passion has been to develop innovative ways to provide treatment for individuals with mental illness and substance use disorders. With a BSN in nursing, Anthony developed and directed a long-term residential treatment model, which has fueled his dream to open a home for those who have suffered from the disease of addiction, mental illness, and homelessness. He currently enjoys being thankful for each breath, gratefully lives every moment of his amazing life, developing and giving back to the community in his project called Brown Manor. All right, so we are so excited to have him on today. We're going to go ahead and share his presentation. And like I said, while you're watching, just like and share the video and get someone on to hear this life encouraging word. So I will be back.
Addiction, alcoholism, separation, racism, gang violence, abuse. These were just some of the things that faced me as a 10-year-old boy. Beating so bad that they left welts on my body for days. Witnessing my mother's violent boyfriend. Coming home to find my mom in a puddle of blood, shot in the head. Things were different after that. I was different. I had a hole that developed in my soul, a soul sickness that I couldn't escape. Physically, psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually bankrupt. I started running, and I didn't stop. By now, I was addicted to every kind of drug I could find to fill that hole in my heart. Homeless at 14 years old, I walked the streets of Ohio and beyond for over 23 years. This is my story, living on a park bench, but it could be any homeless person's story. Like a never-ending tornado taking everything in its path, until one day God intervened through one person. One person believed in me for the first time. One person made a difference in my life and offered me a way out. I have lived through trauma and discovered resiliency. I have lived through addiction and found recovery. I have been incarcerated and discovered rehabilitation. I have been homeless and found residency. All of these are facts, but the bottom line is that we all have a story. For me, I'm no longer living on a park bench. I'm living my best life now in my own version of Park Avenue.
Pick up your copy of Anthony Brown's biography, From Park Bench to Park Avenue. Proceeds will go towards helping the homeless find hope and freedom in a home called Brown Manor.
Hello, hello, Mr. Brown. How are you, sir?
I am fine. Hi, how are you doing, Andrea?
I'm doing well, doing well. No complaints. I always say no complaints because who wants to hear some complaints?
I hear that. When I tell some of my friends I got a complaint, they tell me you got about 15 seconds and that's it.
I know that's right. I know that's right. So we took some time to introduce you. Why don't you take a moment and just greet our audience and tell us about yourself in your own way?
Okay, hi. My name is Anthony. I have no secrets. I have came from, as the video showed, really troubling youth. I ran away from home at 14 because of what was going on at home. I was homeless for 23 years, got involved in all sorts of things: alcoholism, substance use, drug addiction, incarcerations, the whole gamut. And then finally, at the age of 37, someone asked me if I wanted some help, and I guess it must have been the right person at the right time. And I said yes. And then that started my journey to where I'm at today. I started going to school in 2001. I stopped in 2015, and now I'm back in school again. And the result is I turn out to have this pretty good life I never could have imagined.
Nice. Wow. When you say the life that you never could imagine, um, what did you think your life was going to end up like if you're living what you never imagined?
I thought I was destined to just be either addicted or incarcerated for long periods of time. You know, I remember at one point in time, because I started using drugs when I was probably 14. And I thought, well, I'm not going to even make it to 16. Then I thought, well, I'm not going to make it to 18 because I wasn't a casual user. I used anything I can get my hands on. I started
Hmm.
injecting drugs at the age of 15, and I didn't think I was going to make it, you know. And then when I hit 18, I go, I'm not going to make it to 21. And then next thing I know, I'm like, holy smokes, I'm like 30.
Wow.
And nothing changed. And I thought, oh, I'm just going to be a derelict. I'm just going to be unemployed. I'm just going to be homeless. And that's just the way my life is going to be.
Hmm. Wow. So you said you met the right person at the right time. Was it the words that they spoke? Was it you felt compassion from them? What was different about what they had to say versus anybody else you had experienced?
Well, the person that occurred, it was interesting. I continued when I was out there drinking and using and think I'm going to make a living off of selling drugs. I hung out in the same place, and the same police officer continued to arrest me. And
Mm,
the last time he said, "Well, don't you think you need some help?" And by then, I was just sick and tired of being tired and sick. And I just said,
mm,
you know what? Yes. And he had a friend that owned a treatment center. And because of him being nice, I mean, he's probably always have been nice. He was just doing his job, but my mindset wasn't there.
yeah.
And so when he asked if I wanted some help, and then he had a friend that said, okay, we'll take you in, we'll give you a place to live and all of that, and we trust you. And that was the biggest thing because
Mm,
being on the streets for 23 years, I had trust issues. I,
okay.
you know, and I didn't trust anybody, even as a little kid, because of the abuse that was going on at home. I didn't trust nobody.
Yeah.
You know, but here's a person that said, "Hey, we're gonna trust you." I'm like, "Are you serious?" you're going to trust me because I was the kind of person that you just didn't trust. You don't invite me in your house. Don't leave nothing around me because
Mm.
I'm a liar, cheat, and a thief. That's the life
Well,
I lived. And so when they said they trusted me, that did something to me.
mm.
And and it was a rough start. I was a stranger in a strange land. Everybody was nice. I had a defense mechanism because I've been in and out of prisons.
Yeah.
Um, so it was different, but that was the catalyst that put me into where I'm at today.
Wow. Trust is a huge thing. And like you said, you knew the path that you were on, but to hear that somebody trusted you, it's like, okay, I think it sounds like it ignited something in you that sparked the change. Like if somebody could trust me, let me try to do something different. That's what it sounded like. It kind of like sparked you to kind of move in a different direction, which is good, which kind of leads us to where we are today. So talk about we've talked about your journey, where you came from, the things you've been through, but what inspired you to pen your words or your story to a book? What made you do make that transition?
Um, I speak openly about my life journey and what I've been through, and because I want other people to know that no matter what you've been through, you can succeed. And I've shared that message so much. One person said, "Well, you should put that in a book." I'm like,
Mm.
"Okay," and so I wrote a book. Now, when I wrote that book, I am I can I believe in God. I'm just going to throw it out there.
That's, I do too. So
And
we're on the same page. Go
okay,
right
good.
ahead.
and I believe that my job is just do the footwork and lead results up to Him.
Yes. Yes.
And so I trusted God. I felt it within me because in my book I share about how I established my relationship with God.
Mm.
And when I was told to do that, when I was suggested to do it, and I wrote the book, I thought, okay, I'm just going to make a couple hundred copies and give them to my friends and all of that. But I never knew that the chain reaction of what that book did,
Mm.
what helped sustain who I am today. And it's that, and that's what made me want to write that book. Now, in the process of writing the book, all kinds of little gifts were given to me. You know, I got to
Mm.
find closure in a lot of different things. I,
Mm-hmm.
I got to find forgiveness, acceptance. I let a lot of my past go because I discovered that the main reason why I was trapped in that situation is because it was my mindset.
Yeah.
And so I learned to find a lot of closure by writing that book. So that's what inspired me to write that. My friends and comfort from God.
Nice, nice. I always talk about books are not just for the reader, they're for us too. And it sounds like it was a lot of healing that you went through the journey of writing. So that's what it sounds like, how it impacted you. What's your hope when someone gets the book? What do you feel like their takeaway should be? What do you want people to get when they pick up your book?
I want that book. It's fascinating because I always tell anybody that has that book. First of all, you have my life in your hands.
That's
Just,
good. I like that.
just right out the gate. And then second, I want people to enjoy the journey and understand that because my book goes from birth to almost to where I'm at now, and
Mm,
and understand that we all have our trials and tribulations. You know, everybody has something in the closet. We have
yeah,
history.
yeah.
And so with that book and exposing it, I want people to realize that it's okay to experience what you went through, but we don't stop. We continue to take the next indicated step, put one foot in front of the other, and the results will change.
Nice. Nice. I like that. So it's kind of like you want the reader to take us the similar journey like you took. A journey of healing, a journey of restoration, of getting your life. You actually got your life to a point that you never had ever been at. Talk about that. Like you're living a life you never lived, you never imagined, you never thought you would be. So tell me what that's like on a daily basis when you think about your past.
It's like night and day.
Yeah.
Prior to 1999, March 29th, 1999, prior to that, my life, I quit school in the eighth grade. I had no job skills. I was homeless, um, living on the streets. Now I I can I have a bachelor of science degree in nursing. I'm a registered nurse. I'm a public health nurse. I'm a licensed psychiatric technician. I'm a certified anger management facilitator. I am I have more initials behind my name than I do in my name.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will never be homeless. Me and Bank of America own this house in California, and then I just purchased a 9,000 square foot 1916 mansion in Ohio.
Wow.
Yeah, and so life is good. I'm well educated and I have a purpose. And I'm currently going to school to become a nurse practitioner.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I say I never could have imagined this, and plus I wrote a book and I started two companies. And
Mm-hmm.
so that was not something I thought about at the age of 35, 36. I
Yeah.
couldn't I couldn't dream that big.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah. Wow. Did I hear you from Ohio? Are you originally from Ohio?
Yes, I'm originally from Steubenville, Ohio.
Okay. I'm originally from Youngstown, Ohio.
Oh, okay. Go Buckeyes.
Yes. When I saw that, I meant to ask you what part of Ohio, but yes, born and raised in Youngstown. Buckeyes till we die. That's what my brother says.
Yes.
He's a huge Buckeyes fan. But
Okay.
let's kind of shift gears a little bit. I want to hear how, being in the healthcare field in the midst of the pandemic, how are people mentally, because I know you deal with, people who have mental illness and things of that nature. What kind of things are you seeing in the midst of the pandemic when it comes to mental health?
Well, I work in long-term a psychiatric facility. It's a locked facility, and people have chronic mental illness. And having to adjust with the whole COVID thing. I mean, first we have to deal with helping people stabilize on their medication so they're not having delusions or hallucination, hearing voices, having behaviors. And so we get that part. And then we still have the health issues that they come with, because a lot of people who've been homeless for a long period of time don't really take care of themselves.
Hmm.
And so we have the hypertension, we have the diabetes, we have all the dental problems. So we're dealing with that. And then we get hit with the respiratory virus illness
Hmm.
that spread it really quick.
Yeah.
And and so having to deal with that and to help everybody stay calm was it was I would say challenging, but this is what I do. And so it was a learning experience. I've learned
Hmm.
so much about me and my team
Yeah.
throughout all of this.
Wow. Wow. And I'm sure there's still adjustments, with not really knowing how much longer it's going to last. This time last year, we were hoping it would be over a year ago. And here we are still in the midst of it and still learning to adjust. And like you said, you're learning your team and probably learning yourself all over again, too. So, wow. I always commend my healthcare professional. So I commend you and I salute you, for staying with it. Because some people have walked away, from the field because of the stress, and the not knowing and all the things that are associated around it. So I commend you for sticking with it and keeping in the race. And so let's talk about your legacy. Let's talk about some things that you want to leave on the imprints of people's minds. What do you feel like your legacy is?
My legacy, what I'm currently working on right now, because my heart is for the homeless community. That's that's all I think about, want to do, because I come from there and I understand the complexities of that. And so what I want to leave, because I'm in a nurse practitioner program right now, and I'm trying to develop a new model of treatment for the homeless population. And
Hmm.
so maybe I can leave that framework out there, because we do have some solutions and we do have some ideas, but somehow they're not as effective as they should be.
Hmm.
And so with me coming from where I come from and with my education and my desire and with God's help, I want to be able to develop a new framework of treatment that can be utilized for that. That's what Brown Manor is about, that mansion, and it's in Mansfield, Ohio.
Mm.
And so that mansion is there. My book is still floating around, and then my examples. And I've learned that some people will follow your example or mimic your behavior. And if I can get enough people to adjust to this mindset, then perhaps we can make a large dent in this situation that seems to be out of control. So that I would like to leave that mark is a person who made a difference in that community.
Nice. Do you feel like you being in that community, which I know the answer, but I just want to hear you say it. But do you feel like, because you were at one time in that community, that you know how to address someone that's there? Do you find that I'm sure there are no cookie cutter situations for every person who's homeless, but do you feel like it gives you an approach or a way to approach people who are there? Because some people who are homeless, they don't want to be helped. You know what I mean? So how do you find that the way you're addressing it? Do you feel like it's cookie cutter? Do you have to go case by case, or how do you see it in that regard?
You would have to go case by case. There's no cookie cut. I mean, we're human beings first and
Right.
foremost, and so
Right.
that makes us really versatile and complicated and multifaceted right out the gate.
Yeah.
Then you throw in some of the behaviors we've learned, and then
Gotcha.
you throw in the substance abuse and the mental illness and the pathology and things of that nature. So it's not a cookie cutter thing. I think I can address it because I've been there. I can empathize a lot more than a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people because I've actually lived in those shoes. I've actually
Right.
ate out of those dumpsters.
Yeah.
I've actually slept under those shelters. I've been there. And
Yeah.
so I'm capable, I'm able, and I'm willing to come and adjust my approach to whatever level is there because homelessness isn't cut and dry. It isn't that you just have people who or just lost their job and they just need some rehab services, or you have people that um, have chronic homelessness and mental illness, substance use, pathology. It's not just those two ends; it's a whole spectrum,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that's what I'm looking at addressing and developing a program for to treat the spectrum because it's not a one size fit all situation. It's not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I understand that, and I've gained enough education that I can find the solutions on some evidence based practice and implement them on a level in which I can drop my communication styles that people will feel comfortable. And that's one of the I guess you could say gifts that God has given me is I've been there and I'm educated and I can go back and help.
Yes. Yes. Brown Manor.
Uh-huh.
Is it currently up and running, or is it still a vision in the works? Or because I know you've purchased a mansion, so is it a operating facility at this time?
It is not operating right now. And that's where my biggest pitch is I'm trying to get funding for it. I've worked two jobs and everything goes towards that. That's my vision. Will it be up and running? Well, yes, it will.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. I remember, and I wrote this in my book too. When I first, I bought that house without even seeing it,
Mm.
and I just felt because again, I have a close relationship with God, and I
Yeah.
felt God said do something for the community,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
so I bought that house. I'm like, okay, God, I know you got this, and then I smiled because to me, I felt that God said, hey, you know what? It took Noah 600 years to build an ark. Don't worry, you got this.
Yeah.
And so I walked in that house and I seen it and I'm like, oh my God, seriously? And I went and prayed and I went back and I go, oh my God, this is beautiful. And so I'm given the gift of having a brain and hands, and I don't mind working. So
Yeah.
Brown Manor will get up and running. The book sales go to that, or anybody that wants to donate,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it's going to take, it will be up and running.
Nice. I absolutely love it. I'm a firm believer that what we go through, the Bible says that all things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. And so this is definitely your purpose. I can see God all over it. I do want to put your website on the screen. Is this where people can donate?
Yes, you can go to anthonyhowardbrown.com and just scroll through and you'll see everything. Brown Manor, you'll see the GoFundMe page, how to contact me, everything's there.
Nice. Okay.
You know,
Go
and
ahead.
it's funny that when we had COVID, a lot of my staff, because I'm the director of nursing, and a lot of my staff was saying, "Well, aren't you afraid of getting COVID?" And I laughed because I was homeless for 23 years. I ate out of dumpsters. I put drugs in my body. You think
Hmm.
you think COVID wanted to come in here? I mean, really? And we would all laugh about it, and that would break the stress, and we can go do what we're supposed to do.
Yes, nice. I'm putting it on the screen. So for anyone who'd like to donate or give into this vision or purchase a book, he did say the proceeds for the book go towards his project. So thank you so much for sharing that. I'm just loving what you do. You remind me of myself in the sense of I use what I went through to help others, and I believe that's why God allows us to go through what we do. So let me hear what excites you the most about what you do. What's exciting on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, I like learning. A lot of people say, "Well, that's kind of odd," but I love learning. Um,
Yeah.
I I love what I call an aha moment when things make
Mhm.
sense. I mean,
Yeah.
I can read textbooks all day long, but when I'm able to put together the material and then come up with my own thinking, I get excited. It's like, oh my God. And I run and I tell people, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to write a whole new program. You just wrote one. It's like, yeah, I'm going to write another one though. You know, and they're like, okay, well, what's this one for? I'm going to solve the homeless problem, and we're going to, there's Murphy's law and all that. We're going to have Anthony's law, and come up with a homeless thing. And so that excites me. And another thing that excites me, to be honest, is when I see somebody come from the depths of despair and hopelessness and start coming out of it.
Yes.
I love that look, or when the parent looks at me and start crying and go, "Oh my God, thank you." It's like, thank God. I'm just
Mhm.
a vessel. That warms my heart. That's more important to me than anything. That is priceless.
Yes. Nice. I love it. I love it. So, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? We know where you've come for the last 20, but where do you see yourself in the next 5 or to 10? I had a guest a couple weeks ago. She's told me 100 years. So I don't I say 5 to 10, but hey, you might be projecting 50 to 100 like her. I don't know. But where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 or plus?
Okay. Um, where I see myself may not necessarily be where God sees me, because I had no clue I would be doing what I'm doing now. Um,
Mm,
I know for sure I have a year and a half till I'm completed with the nurse practitioner program. Then I can be able to prescribe medications and be more of a hands-on clinician. That will take me to be able to head Brown Manor, which should be done and everything's going to be up and running. And within 5 years, I would love to start seeing I guess the fruits of my labor. Start seeing other people like me speaking to other people like you, saying,
yeah,
"Hey, this is what's going on." Or when we walk out in the street, we'll see somebody there sitting down with one of our brothers and sisters in the street, let them know that it's okay. Let's do this pathway and watch what happens.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's where I see myself, just being a leader of this whole different paradigm shift in society.
Yes, I love it. I have to ask a couple questions. I know we're talking about where you see yourself, and I just keep seeing this mansion that you purchased. And so, have you gotten any news coverage or, articles written about this project? I'm just asking on the other side of things.
Okay. Yeah, Local news has covered it. I've been doing interviews with a lot of other entities. I think Fox News out here covered it. Um,
Nice.
let's see who was there was a news company in Ohio that covered it. I am about to print out the second article in a Mansfield newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the things that, and as I'm developing this project, I get to learn more and more, and I'm growing as this thing grows. I'm growing right with it as far as intellectual wise, because I'm learning a lot of different things. And so my next step is to go to Mansfield and arrange to meet some county heads or somebody so I can get the community more involved in it. Because this is for the community. This isn't for me. You know,
Right.
I have my house. I could retire if I want to, but that's not what God wants me to do. So
Right.
so I want to get the community more involved. And so by me being blessed with being on shows like yours, I can get the word out more as to what we're doing over there with that place.
Nice, nice. I love it. Make sure you visit the website, anthonyhowardbrown.com. I did go check out the GoFundMe and everything, and I just have to say his goal is 65,000. And so let's be a blessing and go and sow into this. The reason why I brought up the news thing is because, people are always saying, people take big money and they go buy this and they go buy that. But then when you have someone like yourself who's going and doing this, we need to be circulating this, and spreading the word about this and letting people know everybody's not spending their money on houses and cars for their personal use. This is actually something, like you said, that you're building for the community to rectify the problem of homelessness and an epidemic, so to speak. And so again, I just honestly just commend you for giving back, in the way that how, the way God ordained, just giving back and making sure that a solution is provided. And not just giving, space for them to stay, but giving a solution, helping people rebuild their life, beyond just giving them a space to live. So I just commend you for that. Do you have any other books that you're working on, or anything else coming up the pipeline like that?
Okay, I have an illustrated that video you showed. There's an illustrative book that's coming out,
Nice.
and that's about to be released. And then I actually have a actual workbook detailing different therapies and workshops and all types of programs material that can help somebody walk out of being homeless. So that's a whole workbook. I tell people it's portable therapy, and you just grab the book and go through it, answer the questions, and you
Okay.
know discuss with people. It's designed for people to take it and teach other people with it, or it's designed as a self-help model too. And
Nice.
so that's coming out as well. So those are my two projects.
Nice. Nice. Do you have a expected release date?
Um, the illustration book should be. We're doing a test sampling, and that should come out this week. I have 60 copies. I'm giving away free. I've already
Okay.
got I got 30 of them already asked for,
Reserve.
so
Okay.
I'll make sure you get one.
Nice.
And,
Yes.
and then after that, then it'll go up on Amazon and people can purchase it. But I just the money isn't really that important to me, and I have a financial group that always tell me don't say that, but it is true. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
we're here on this earth only for a finite period of time. Once we're
Right.
gone, we're gone.
Right.
And I've never seen a hearse with a U-Haul connected to the back of it. So
Right.
so you're not taking this with you. So the
Yeah.
least I could do is help out our brothers and sisters and things of that nature. And so I just want the word to go out that there is hope, there's a solution, and there are people who's willing to work towards the solution. But sometimes we need some help or some assistance, even if it's to get the word out. Because I know for myself, homelessness is possible. It is
Yeah.
possible. But I also
Yeah.
know for myself that with the right amount of help, your life can change into something you never imagined.
Nice, nice. I have a firm belief that those who the Lord allows to be wealthy, that we are just distributors of the wealth. It's not for us to sit on, like the Bible talks about the man with the barns, and he want to go build more barns to put his stuff in. And that's not why God gives us wealth. And your mindset is that you are a distributor, of what God allows you to enjoy. And when you have that mindset, that's why he keeps giving you more. And
Yeah.
that's a mindset. It's a principle. It's like sowing and reaping. When you sow, you're going to reap. But then are you a good steward over that which God has given you? So you sound like an excellent steward. You know exactly how to distribute what God has given you. And so I just want to speak to somebody who might be listening, who's striving to be wealthy, and don't know this is what we call a humanitarian effort. And so what humanitarian effort are you going to distribute your wealth to? And so I just, again, applaud you for, having that mindset, because a lot of people get wealthy and they're just concerned about them and theirs. But we are responsible to give back, especially as people of the kingdom of God. It's a responsibility to give back and to sow into the lives of others. So, what kind of words of encouragement would you give someone who's listening, who might want to write a book, who may have caught this video and they may be in a homeless state? What kind of words of encouragement would you give?
Um, when it comes to writing a book, one thing I've discovered is make a commitment and stick to it. Once you make a commitment, then stick to that commitment.
Yes.
Um, I live by the principle that once you start something, you have to finish it. No ifs,
Yeah.
ands, or buts. You might not like it in the middle. You might get tired,
Mm-hmm.
but just keep taking the next indicated step. Once in a while, if you get tired in the middle of writing the book, just stop and applaud yourself. Hey, I wrote a paragraph, or hey, I wrote a chapter,
Mm-hmm.
or hey, I developed a framework. Because a lot of times people will think about it and they won't do it,
Yeah.
and there's nothing to it. And always understand that there's nothing perfect in this world. So you don't have to throw out anything that's super and spectacular. And you know, it dawned on me just the other day that once I leave this earth, once I pass away, once I die, that book that I wrote is still going to be living.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and
Yes. For hundreds of years.
right, right. So if you're going to be a writer, just think of that, and don't get discouraged. Get encouraged. You know, um,
Yes.
people have a right to have their opinion. If you get a naysayer that tells you what you can't do, go thank you. I appreciate your opinion, and keep doing what you're doing. As far as if you're homeless and you're trying to get your life together, always remember that there is hope and there's help. And sometimes, and if you keep trying, you will find the right solution. A lot of times we want to get help, but we don't know how to ask for help. And that's a big thing,
Mhm. Yes.
because no matter how far down the depths I was in, I always wanted help. I just didn't know how to ask for it.
Mm.
And
Wow.
yeah, now since I've been there, is I don't. It doesn't matter to me how you communicate it.
Yeah.
Just be around, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
my hand is out there, and I hope that everybody I train, their hand is out there. I teach at a community college. That's one of the things I ingrain in my students. We're healthcare professionals, or you're a human being. Let's do
Yeah.
the human thing.
Yeah.
And so, because we all are responsible for one another. We are brothers and sisters keepers. You know.
Yes. Yes, I agree. I wanted to bring our audience in. I had a few comments to just address. We have Pastor Cynthia Johnson. She's Jackson. I'm sorry, Pastor Cynthia Jackson. She said, awesome, much needed. Hello, good evening, Prophetess Yolanda Ingram. We have someone watching from Nigeria. So God bless you, Pastor Favor. Thank you for joining as well. So thank you, everyone who's been tuning in and commenting, leaving your feedback. We greatly appreciate it. This is none other than Mr. Anthony Brown. I'm so glad he took some time out of his schedule and stopped by and shared with us on this evening. Thank you, sir. Any final comments before we sign off for the night?
I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to put my voice out there. Thank you for all that you do. I've watched what you do. You support people, and it's really appreciated because it warms my heart knowing that there's individuals as yourself that's doing what you do. And thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I appreciate your comment because you reiterated what I say all the time. When we leave, our books are still here. They are still helping people, and they do live forever. The Bible is the oldest book of time, and it is helping and blessing lives thousands of years later. So can you just imagine that 50 to 100 years from now, someone's going to pick up from Park Bench to Park Avenue and take the same journey. So I'm just so grateful that you're here this evening. Thank you, sir. God bless you. Thank you for everyone who has joined us. Do me a favor, still continue to like and share and tag the video. I want to put the website up one more time. Take a visit. Sow into this vision. It is a huge vision that he is undertaking. We know he has the Lord's help, but why can't he have our help too? I'm just saying. So God bless you, sir. Thank you so much for joining. Join me next week. Let's see, next week's the 17th. So I do have Jamila Johnson. She'll be with us next week. And then guess what, y'all? It's about to be Thanksgiving. This year is almost over. So we will not, I'll probably do a replay on Thanksgiving because I'll be I'll be traveling. But for the most part, join us next week, same time at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Thank you again for joining me this evening, Mr. Brown. We are signing off for the day. God bless y'all. Thank you for joining. Like, share, tag the video, and we'll see you next time. Have a good evening.